Welcome to this Fundamentals Lesson Plan series on doors and windows, layout and design. In this video, we'll take a look at placement techniques for doors. This is video 1 of 4. My name is John Harridge, and I will be your host for today's lesson. Let's look at the learning objectives for video 1. First, we will load a door family into a current project, just to understand that you can bring doors in over time as they are needed. Next, we'll choose a specific door size from the type selector. And last, we'll place doors in interior walls of an existing project. With that, let's get started. Let's begin this exercise with an instructor demo of the key concepts for doors. So just please watch and listen. I will be using the default project template that comes with Revit for this demonstration. And I'll begin by creating a series of walls and the plan view to host the door object. So doors are loadable families with a .rfa file extension. They live outside the project file, and you can load them into any project as you need them. So there's my first wall, and I'll go ahead and create an angular wall off to the side here. Placing doors is relatively easy. Understanding their behavior is really the focus of this particular instructor demo. I'll also go ahead and open up a south elevation view of the model just to show that the walls are automatically appearing in that model view as well. And then I'll go ahead and swap the views so that the plan view is on the left and the elevation view is on the right. So to begin, the door tool can be found on the Architecture tab. You start the door tool, and then I would take a look at the type selector to see which door is currently in place. In this case, if I go to the load family tool, I can browse to the Revit library, and under the doors folder, I can find all of the door families that are included with the product. And if you select one family type, you'll see previews of that style in the upper right hand corner. So I'm just showing you where those are located. I'm not acting on the load family command. Let's take a look at the type properties for doors. So working with the single flush door that's currently active in the type selector, these are the properties that are part of that particular door style, and those specific dimensions are grouped into a named parameter type or family type for that particular size configuration. Okay, let's move on to actually placing doors in the project model. Again, from the Architecture tab, you choose the door tool, go to your type selector, just confirm that you have the right door selected. And then the way this works is doors have to be hosted in wall objects. So your cursor and the face it's hovering on initially determines the swing direction of the door. And then to control the handing of the door, you would simply use the spacebar key to change that relationship. And of course, you have temporary dimensions that are available to work with precision, so you can always swipe that value, type in a new value. Another way to work with dimensions is to drag the shape handle for the dimension witness line and set the context that you wish to work from, and then type in the value that you're seeking to relocate the door. So next I'd like to reveal some of the magic behind door families. I'm editing that particular door family, so I'm now in the family editor environment, and this is the default view that opens up when you edit the door family. Note that there's a project browser tree that's similar to the project view that we just came from, and we can open up views to that model object. So that's the plan view representation. And just note that doors are made up of a hybrid of model elements and symbolic line elements as well. And then you'll note that there's a width parameter, which is a placeholder to create and populate with user specified values to help drive that geometry parametrically. And if we open up a front elevation view, you'll see additional dimensional parameters associated with the model. Like, for example, the height parameter, again, is a parametric parameter that's driven by some variables here. So if we edit the family types dialog box, again, you'll see those dimensional parameters indicated here, and if I select one of those, you'll see the corresponding parameter highlight in the model view. Same thing with the height parameter. And again, all of those values are grouped under that name that you see here at the top of the dialog box. So if I choose a different size from that pre-populated table and then hit the apply button in the dialog box, you'll see that be applied to the model representation. You saw that on screen instantaneously when I hit the apply button. All right, so I'm going to dismiss that. Going back to the plan representation, just confirming that the width value changed also. We just couldn't see it because I didn't have that view open concurrently. Also note that there's a 3D model view representation in the family editor as well. I'll just go ahead and change this to an isometric view. And then what's missing is the visibility of the walls. I'll go ahead and turn that category on just so we can see it for context. So again, what you're seeing is primarily the wall object and then some of the model-based objects like the trim. But what actually performs the real magic in the project environment is this opening cut object, is what actually cuts the opening into the host wall. So that was the one big takeaway that I wanted to leave with you from the family editor. So I'll go ahead and close this file without making any additional changes to it. Next, to demonstrate the value of building information modeling, I will go ahead and create another view of the model. It just happens to be a schedule view. In this case, I'll create a door count schedule just so that we can see these interdependencies amongst these three views. So I'm calling out the family and type and then adding the count parameter to be displayed in this schedule. I'll perform a Windows tile to make all three appear on the screen at one time. I'll go ahead and adjust some of the columns in the schedule just so you can read it better. So I'll go ahead and select this door in plan view and notice that its corresponding representation in the elevation view highlights as well. Likewise, if I select the door in the schedule, it also highlights the model representation in the other corresponding views. So that's pretty cool to have that type of parametric relationship. Now, if I select the door and choose create similar, I can place another instance of the door in that same wall. You'll notice that there's flip grips that appear inside the opening of the door. They perform a function when you left click to flip the door in that particular direction. Likewise, we can click and drag the door to relocate it manually. What you can't do is relocate the door outside of the context of the wall. So doors are hosted elements that must belong to a wall, and that's why you see this warning message. So again, all the model views are connected and interdependent. Note that in the schedule it has a new row for the second door that I just placed earlier. Now the question is, how do you move a door from one wall to another when they're not connected? Logically, you would think that you could just select the door, choose move, and it would do its thing. But in this case, it will not work. We have to use a different methodology. So in this case, because doors are hosted objects, we have to choose pick new host to actually move it to another wall to actually place it. All right, to position doors with precision, again, we can use the shape handles for the witness line for the dimension, place it on the edge that you wish to work from, and then again left click to change its value and hit the enter key to accept. So if you want to create an offset for a specific distance from an adjacent wall, that would be the process for doing so. Next, I'd like to demonstrate that doors have context to level or elevation datum planes. So for example, walls are hosted on datum planes, and doors have context to datum planes as well. What's also interesting here is you can also place doors in an elevation view in addition to the plan view. So if that makes sense in terms of layout and design, feel free to do so with the understanding that it's going to update all views of the model. All right, so if you can see in the properties palette with that door selected, you'll see that level 1 is the reference level context, and it had a sill height property that we could modify. Before I do that, let's go ahead and raise level 1 to a new elevation value and just understand that the doors moved with that reference plane. So it did not become disjoined, if you will. Now, if you have a situation where you need to raise the door for, say, like a door stoop, an entry stoop that's made out of concrete, you can actually change that value and just modify just the one door instance that's highlighted. So that's a good thing to be aware of, is that you can change the positions of doors independently of each other. The last concept I want to demonstrate for you is when you remove a door from a view, you're actually removing that door from the entire project. So you'll see that all model views are updated in real time. So please be careful when using the delete key, as it does permanently remove that element from the entire project. This concludes the instructor demo. Let's move on to the hands-on part of the exercise. Go ahead and click the Open command and scroll to your tutorial directory and open up the Doors and Windows 01 exercise file. In this exercise, we will load a door style from the Revit library, and then we'll place two different door styles in the plan view for just the interior walls only. Again, doors are a loadable family type. They have a .rfa file extension. They live outside the project files but can be loaded into any project file when they are needed. Let's confirm that the level 1 plan view is the current and active view. And to access the Revit library, click on the Architecture tab, go ahead and select the Door tool, and then move over to the Mode panel and select Load Family. Double-click to open up the Doors folder, and these are the available door styles that come with Revit out of the box. When you select one instance of a door family, it previews in the upper right-hand corner. Go ahead and select the double panel 2.rfa and click open. And the door that is loaded becomes the current door. So from the type selector, click to display the pull-down menu, and you'll see the various categories of doors that are currently in this project file. If you would, go ahead and select the 68-inch by 80-inch double door type and move your cursor into the canvas window. Again, doors will not reveal themselves until you hover your cursor over a wall. So they are wall-hosted objects. Before we place that first instance, go ahead and make sure that tag on placement is enabled or is shaded. And then once you hover your cursor over the wall, you'll see the door preview. Select this orientation and left click to place an instance of the door at that location. Move your cursor to the opposite side and place another door instance here. All right, let's go ahead and change our door style. Let's move over to single flush. Please select 36-inch by 84-inch and move your cursor into the canvas window. And let's place the first single flush door instance here. Left click to place. That becomes door number 7. Move over to the adjacent wall. Go ahead and place door number 8 here. Move across the hallway and down. You can hit left click to place door 9 here. And along that same vertical wall location, move over to the opposite side and use the spacebar key to change the handing and place door number 10. 2 more doors to go. At this location, let's go ahead and place door number 11. Again, use the spacebar to control the handing. And for door number 12, let's go ahead and place it here. All right, that is the final number of doors that we wish to place. Go ahead and hit the Modify tool to end the placement command. Next, let's go ahead and save the file. We'll do a file save as. And then navigate to your tutorial directory. And go ahead and give it the name Doors and Windows 01 Exercise Finished. Click the Save button to complete the process. This concludes this exercise. Let's go ahead and take a look at next steps. Let's review the lesson objectives for video 1. In this lesson, we were able to load a new door family, or you can call it a door style, into the current project. We used the type selector tool to choose a specific style and size of door and then placed it in the project. And then we looked at different placement techniques. And again, just recalling that the face of the wall that you hover on determines the swing direction, and the space bar allows you to set the handing of the door prior to placing it in the wall. With that, let's take a look at Autodesk resources that are available to you to continue on your learning path. I would like to make you aware of two specific Autodesk resources. The first one being the Autodesk Education Community, where you can access free software for both students and educators, and that can be located at www.students.autodesk.com. It does require registration, and you can use either your own personal email address or a school-issued email address. The second resource is the Autodesk Digital STEAM Workshop. It's hands-on, project-based learning across multiple industries such as architecture, engineering, gaming, and animation. And those resources are located at www.digitalsteam.autodesk.com. This concludes this exercise. Thank you very much for watching.